So you're here! I assume that you watched our video about the DOST scholarship. If you haven't watched it yet, you can watch it first, then come back. Because in this video, we will be discussing about the examination coverage, the review materials, and some tips from DOST scholars. Hi everyone, this is Teacher Jane of TeachTalk, where learning is fun and easy. If this is your first time watching our videos, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell button so you'll get notified on our next videos. Let's start with an overview of the examination. The examination is primarily a multiple choice type of test with 4 choices, from A to D. Each domain has a separate time allotment, and if you're done with the first domain, for example, if it is verbal and nonverbal reasoning, you are not allowed to proceed to the next domain unless the time allotment for that domain is finished. To maximize the time, you may review and read the items again and again so that you will have a final answer. After the time is done for that domain, the proctor will announce to the takers that we will now move on to the next domain. The actual examination will approximately last for 4.5 hours. You may bring snacks. In my case, I brought biscuits and, of course, water. Just make sure that you will not smear your test paper or your answer sheet, because the one checking your answer sheet is a machine, and if you smear or you put dirt on your answer sheet, there's a possibility that the machine cannot read your answers and your examination will be void. Thus, you will not pass this scholarship. In cases that you want to go to the comfort room, you can just ask permission from your proctor, and your proctor will just direct you to the designated comfort room. The coverage of the DOST scholarship examination includes 6 domains: the logical reasoning, English, science, mathematics, mechanical technical, and the self-inventory part. We will be making separate videos for each domains, presenting questions with answers and explanations from the official review materials given by DOST itself. So if you really want to pass the examination, watch out for those videos. Since we have 6 domains, it is categorized into 3 parts. Part 1 includes logical reasoning, which is divided into verbal and nonverbal reasoning. For this part, what would matter is your mental alertness, precision, and accuracy of your thoughts and actions. Here's a sample question under verbal reasoning. If hammer is to carpenter, then what is to what? A. Anchor is to sailor. B. Brush is to painter. C. Blueprint is to architect. D. Shaves is to barber. The correct answer is B. Brush is to paint. Part 2 includes English, science, mathematics, and mechanical technical. This part is relatively difficult compared to the rest of the parts because it will require your mental computation and critical analysis before arriving to a probable answer. Here's a sample question under the mechanical technical. Which of the kites illustrated below will fly the highest in the shortest possible time? Please refer to the illustrations labeled as 1, 2, and 3. A. 1, B. 2, C. 3, D. There is no difference among 1, 2, and 3. What do you think is the correct answer? The correct answer is B, 2. If you want to know about the explanation of this item, please refer to our video about mechanical technical. Part 3 is about your self-inventory. In this part, there will be no right or wrong answers. This part will focus about you, your friends, your family, your peers, your schoolmates, your past education, and other activities about you. However, you must answer this item as honestly and as accurately as possible because it is still vital. For every statement, you have to choose only one from 5 possible responses below. Not true of me, rarely true of me, sometimes true of me, often true of me, very often true of me. The sample statements are: number 1, I do not like to tell lies. 2, I am not popular among my peers. 3, what I read, I like to keep myself. To help your preparation for the examination, you may access the review materials from the official site of DOST, sei.dost.gov.ph, or you may comment down below. You comment your email address so we can send the review materials to you. It is also effective that you ask tips and pieces of advice from those who experience the DOST scholarship. Here are the tips, reminders, and messages from DOST scholars who took and passed the examination. Tip from Kuya Jepoy, a DOST RA 7687 scholar. He says, I was so lucky that out of the 42,987 applicants who took the national examination, I was one of the qualifiers. You need to submit all required documents on or before the deadline. Ask current or previous scholars about the topics to be focused on. You may ask review modules as well. You also need to prioritize the core competencies of each subject or work on your weaknesses. Identify your body clock in studying. Kuya Jepoy also advises that you need to study, study, and study. Don't pressure yourself. Surrender yourself to God. Everything is possible, and passing is possible. We also have another message from Ate Jean, a DOST Merit Scholar. As a Merit Scholarship taker, one should have a high score. First, evaluate yourself. Know your strengths and weaknesses. For me, my weakness is English. So I search for some exercises for me to be prepared and for me to be familiar of what kind of questions I will be facing during the exam. Then, seek for help. No man is an island. You can study with your friends and ask help from scholars. Believe in yourself. You will never ace the exam if you will never believe that you can. Tiwala lang. Also, you need to believe in him too. Focus during the exam. Always remember that you are not doing that just for yourself and for your family. You are doing that for the country. Don't think about the money or the advantages you will be getting. Think about the things that you can do after getting the advantages. The country is not giving their confidence and trust on you just for nothing. They believe in you that you can do so much. Seek the help of our Almighty Father. You will never fail if you have Him. We have another message from Kuya Joel, a DOST JLSS scholar. Sabi niya, before the exam, try reading concepts or subject areas which are difficult for you, but do this in a relaxed state. Then, 2 or a day before the exam, start incorporating into your readings your strength areas for a refresher. Include the sample questions from the primer because it may or may not appear in the exam. Google is your best friend in searching things you don't know. In the exam, time is your #1 enemy. During the exam, stay possible, but keep track of the time, especially in quantitative areas or those which requires a lot of reading. Also, your field area is your strength. Whether you're from natural science or quantitative field, answer it as fast as possible and review. It could be your score booster in that exam. Stay calm and believe that you're doing your best to answer the questions. Lastly, don't forget to have fun while answering the exam. Takers, you also have a tip from Ate Lovely, another DOST RA 7687 scholar. Passing the DOST scholarship requires focus, quick thinking, and being wise on answering questions. You need to fill out every item even though you don't know the answer. You also have to be honest because there are a lot of repeated questions. And the most important of all is to pray. From Kuya Rins, a DOST JLSS scholar. Takers, you should start answering practice tests with time pressure because the exam will test your endurance. If you already get used to it, the actual scholarship exam will no longer overwhelm you. For those who have test anxiety like me, I advise that you go to the testing site early to ease your anxiety and you'll be mentally ready for the exam. A tip from Ate Portia, a DOST merit scholar. During the review period, read and review your high school lessons and practice answering questions, especially in abstract reasoning. And you may study with a group. Read review materials from DOST. Then, Ate Portia says, during the exam, use your time wisely. Another tip from Kuya Raymond, a DOST RA 7687 scholar. For the takers, fill out all the forms neatly and make sure to fill all the blanks. Kung di applicable, put NA. Pass all the necessary requirements before the deadline. Sa prep for exam naman, may DOST reviewer. Make sure na nabasa mo dun lahat kasi that would be the coverage na lalabas. Run through your old notes. Brain Games app, pwede ka rin mag-try. During exam, magdala ng food, pero wag yung mamansya. Strictly follow protocols. Pag sinabing stop, stop na. Make sure din na you read every item. Do your best na makasagot ng marami within the allotted time. Pray hard and relax. Ginawa mo na yung best mo. Enough na yon. The results will not make you more or less of a person. Like all opportunities, it will come and go. Grab and never surrender. Another message from Ate Fatima, a DOST RA 7687 scholar. Sabi ni Ate Fatima, before the exam, as much as possible, study those subjects that are needed in the exam. If you can, study in longer time frame in order to plan what to study first. Study with a trusted partner. You can also search in the internet for more good pointers. Be sure that you are well informed about the arrangements of the exam. Tip din ni Ate Fatima that during the exam, relax to avoid a mental blank and think clearly. Sabi niya, for me, one thing that makes me calm myself during very pressuring time, like taking an exam, is to pray to God. Answer the items that you are sure with, and don't waste your time in trying to answer items that are hard for you at the moment. If there is still time, you can now go back to the other items that you left blank. Read the instructions carefully. Another scholar is Ate Saysay, a DOST JLSS scholar. I am so thankful that I became a DOST scholar. It really helped me a lot to support the financial aspect of my studies. I don't have secrets, but just tips for you. First, familiarize but not memorize. It is better that you understand the concepts rather than memorizing it, because some of the questions are need to be understood. Takers, you also have to ask help. Ask someone to be your study buddy. Do not study hours from the test because you'll end up panicking. My greatest advice for you guys before taking the test is that always remind yourself that you can do it. You can pass it. Believe in yourself. That's what I always did from my college years to taking the licensure exam. Always make the most of your time and internalize what you are reading. You might not see the results immediately, but it will help you in your exam. Always read, guys. Takers, we have another tip and advice from Kuya Renz, a DOST RA 7687 scholar. First tip ni Kuya Renz, if unsure, choose the first choice or answer that you have in mind. Second tip, keep calm. Don't be pressured. At ang main tip ni Kuya Renz para sa inyo is to visualize your success. Do you want to be called as a DOST scholar in the next year? Lastly, Kuya Renz also advises that you have an undisturbed 8-hour sleep in total darkness before the exam. We have another message from Kuya Baoy, a DOST RA 7687 scholar. Kuya Baoy says, you should follow instructions and read the directions carefully. Kung mahirap ang question, move on agad para di maubos ang time. Tapos, balikan mo na lang kung may extra time ka pa. Don't leave items unanswered. Okay lang magkamali. At least may 25 chance na tama ang sagot mo kaysa sa walang chance talaga kung i-leave mo siyang blank. Sabi pa ni Kuya Baoy, don't eat or drink while answering. Di makaka-focus ang utak mo sa mga questions. Okay lang to pause para kumain and continue answering afterwards. Make sure to have a sound sleep before taking the exam. Lastly, believe in yourself. You can do it. I did it. Why can't you? Ate Donna, another DOST JLSS scholar, gives you a tip. First, evaluate your strengths and weaknesses. Manage your time while taking the exam. You also need to keep your body as healthy as possible and your mind free from obstructions or worries. Ate Donna emphasizes that you take it seriously for it's one of the toughest exams in the country. Seek help from other people if you're having a hard time during reviews. Lastly, stay focused. Kuya Nard, a DOST JLSS scholar, also says, study ahead of time. Review all topics in your high school, and you need to exert extra personal effort because you reap what you sow. The harder, the better. Sacrifice and go for the extra mile. Well, you can even go for miles. You need to relax during the night before the exam, have a good sleep to prepare yourself mentally. During the exam, always be aware of the time. You might be shocked that you still have a lot of items to answer, yet you only have few minutes left, so you need to keep track. Be rational in choosing the choices. If you have no idea about the item, you can get the correct answer by deduction. You study the choices, read, understand, eliminate, and rationalize the choices. Don't forget to relax. Don't be tense about the exam. It's not like you'll die taking it. Chill out. After the exam, don't worry about your answers. Pray and submit everything to God. Then, results will be out and you'll see your name in it. God bless. Those are all the tips from your ates and kuyas. Before we end this video, I would like to share a quote that has been my guiding principle ever since I started dreaming. This quote is, by failing to prepare, you are preparing to fail. So dear takers, make the most out of your time so that the DOST scholarship will be in your hands. Again, this is Teacher Jane of TeachTalk, where learning is fun and easy. Bye!